good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Unlock Show. I am Tracy Wilson. I am your host for the next 30-odd minutes. We're going to be online for today, and we're going to be going through the third part in the series that I have created called The Authentic Brand Effect. So if you've been following along with me, by now you should have already watched video number 1 or part 1, part 2, and now you'll be into part 3. If you haven't, hang about because I'm going to tell you how you can actually go back and watch all 3 of these because you want to make sure that you do. This series I've put together is in 4 parts. So today's going to be part number 3. So I've got 4 parts plus a bonus, which I'm going to cover off for you guys. And the whole purpose of this is to help you guys create content and build a platform that actually connects and builds your authority. So moves you from being that unknown expert, like I know you're an expert at what you do, but you're probably, right now not as known as you would like to be. You're unheard, you're unseen, and we're going to help you fix all of that. And we're doing that through this entire process. So every Friday, I will be making sure that I'm here, I'm live, I'm with you at 10 a.m. Australian time, and I'm covering off this 4-part series plus the bonus around the authentic brand effect. So thank you guys for joining me today. I hope that you've enjoyed the last couple of sessions. And like I said, if you haven't, I'm going to share with you how you can go back and rewatch them, because really important that you do if you want to understand this well, and you want to create yourself as a sought after authority in your niche and in your industry. So I'm sure that that's what you want to do, because I can tell you right now, if you do that, your business will start to blow up. You will wonder, where all the businesses come from. So if you're struggling right now, you want to make sure that you get through all of these, because I'm sharing with you a lot of tips, a lot of experience that I've learned over the last 8 years as in this entrepreneurial journey that I've had, and I'm sharing these with you now for free in this particular series. So I want to make sure that you get, you get all of that. Also, for those of you that are with me right now from the Facebook group Success Secrets for Business, Family and Life, welcome. We love our community in there, and I'm so pleased that you guys are here and joining me right now. If you are not part of the Facebook group Success Secrets for Business, Family and Life, boy, I don't know where you are. You should be getting your butt over there and getting in that group, because that's where we share a whole lot more tips, tools, resources, and also a number of other awesome shows also take place on that platform to help you thrive across all areas of your life. So you do not want to miss any of those, so get yourself on over there. And also, of course, these you can go to iTunes, to Stitcher and the like, and you can actually download these as a podcast. So if you prefer to listen rather than watching, you can absolutely do that. So let's get stuck into this today. Let's cover off the third part in this series. So the third part in this series is all about creating revenue generating content. I'm going to cover off the styles that you need to incorporate into your messaging and into your content that enables you to attract and prime your prospects into potential buyers down the track. So that is the purpose of today's session. And like I said, there is more to come in this series, and it will help you put all of these jigsaw pieces together and help you to build out your system. So I want to say welcome to series number 3. If you're someone who's I'm going to say you're going to be rare. So if you've been with me for all 3 of these, boy, you are already well ahead of the pack. Why? Because you are committed. You're a person that actually wants to make change. To make change, we know, and to have transformation, you have to be dedicated to your cause. You have to be really, making sure that you show up, that you stand up, you're ready to actually share your message. And to do that, often that is about allowing ourselves to take on, be prepared to take on the learning and be prepared to accept new things into our mind and into our space. So well done to you if you've been here for 3 sessions. And if you haven't, well, you can get into that very unique, very small group, a minority group of people by going and actually watching the entire series when I give you the link at the end of today's show. So I want to say, huge welcome. You know that your mission and your connection and your ability to adjust beliefs now, coupled with your unique signature solution and an anchored platform for your amplification of everything, is the powerful tools and the powerful combination that you need to be able to create a place where you stand out, that you can create your place where you can amplify your message and actually reach the people that you need to reach, the people that are out there waiting for your message to be delivered to them. So these are the 5 things that can actually give your message and your business something that is so powerful that it doesn't really matter what other people think. It kind of takes you out of that space. Who cares what they think? It doesn't matter. Why? It doesn't even matter because if you've got fears, we take that completely off the table too. It doesn't matter if you've even failed in the past or with what you're struggling with right now. When you get these things aligned, when you get the right combinations, what will happen is that your audience will actually see that. They will resonate with it. You will become remarkable and significant to them. And that's what you want to be able to create so that you become seen, heard, and the expert that is now known. So you become that authority, that sought after authority in your industry. That's what we're wanting to get you to. These things that I'm talking about are actually going to help you to transform and create the change that you want to see in the world. So in the last couple of videos, we talked about that. We talked about, like, what is your mission? What changes do you want to see in the world? We're in a situation right now where there's a lot of change going on, and some of it is like way outside of our control. But when we think about it, what are the things that we can control? What are the things that we can do? It starts with one, and we have the ripple effect, and then that ripple effect will start to see the change happen one by one by one. More and more people will start to, make the change that you want to see in the world. It's going to start to light that fire within you that drives and motivates you every single day. So this is when you get the alignment right, when you get the messaging right, when you get that whole connection right. All of a sudden, it's what I call it sort of grows legs of its own, and it creates this fire in your belly that you just cannot deny. You just have to keep going with it. And it will also help you in your business to stand for something. It will enable you to stand for something that is really deep and meaningful to you and to your audience. And it will help you to start to thrive because of it. You will start to see that people will, instead of, you having to reach out and saying, hey, do you want to do business with me? They will start reaching out to you, and more opportunities will be passed, over your desk for you to be able to make decisions as to whether or not you want to, you want to pursue them. So this is what we call the authentic brand effect. And this is where unknown experts, maybe they're like you, they stop hiding. They stop being unseen. They stop being unheard, and they stop being ignored. This is where you stop wondering why nobody's paying attention to you. It's where you then can step into your new identity of being that sought after expert and professional who stands out. Why? Because you stand up for something. You stand out in a way that commands attention. And when you do this, you start to create a brand new paradigm where people believe in your message and your mission just as much as you do. So a pretty freaking awesome place to be when you get there. When you align all these things in the right way, you can have all of that. So welcome to session number 3, the Authentic Brand Effect series. And in this session, like I said, you're going to learn how to create content and a platform that connects and builds your authority. So I also said to you that, if you haven't watched part 1 and part 2 of this series, well, I don't know where you've been, but you need to go, and I'm going to give you a link. I'm going to place it in the bottom of this today's show, so that you can actually go there and you can watch, or you can binge watch them over and over again if you want to, so that you get the gist of what it is that I'm talking about. I'll put that link in the comments section a little bit later today, and you can go back and have a look at those. And you will want to, so that you understand fully all the major shifts that are happening now with the messaging and distribution. So there's some major shifts that are happening right now that are leveling the playing field, that allow you to really get a head start and will position you ahead of the game. So you need to go back and you want to watch those. Lots of people are actually missing these right now, and maybe you are somebody who is also missing these subtle changes. And if you continue to miss them, then you are going to continue to be unseen and unheard. So like I said, don't panic. I'm going to give you all of that. And if you have watched them, but you're still unclear on what your message is, your content, or your unique signature offer, don't worry about that either, because that's absolutely normal. In fact, I'm going to go a lot deeper when I also talk about the impact and authority method. things will become a lot clearer then. So don't panic. All right. So what we're doing right now is that what I'm trying to get you to do is to expand your minds. We're expanding our minds right now so that we are ready to take on our new transformation. We're getting ready to accept the new changes that we are going to go through to transform ourselves into the person that we need to be to make all of this stuff happen. And the tools and the resources and all the other bits and pieces that I give you, well, they're also going to help you too. They will help you to increase the speed in which you do all of this. But a big part of this is actually about you developing on both a personal and a professional level so that you can take your business to a whole new realm because of the influence and the authority that you've created in your marketplace. These shifts and transformations, they do take time. So they are not like, it's not a instant pill I'm going to give you and all of a sudden, wow, I'm now an expert in my field. These shifts do take time. Transformation happens over time. It doesn't happen overnight. So just be aware of that. It will happen. And if you're not clear right now, don't worry, because the paradigm shift, it is coming for you. And when it does, you will need to know how to get your mission and your message out there so that you are creating something powerful that you are going to be standing for, that is going to create demand, and it will create the demand that you never thought was possible before. You'll be connecting on a deep level with your audience that will actually make you magnetic. So this is what I'm saying. When you become magnetic, sometimes the things that will come your way, you won't even know that they were coming. You might have even been, you may not have thought that you were ready for them, but this whole series is about helping you to transform into that person professionally and personally so that you are ready to take on all of this stuff. When we talk about this as far as like casting your shadow, so the bigger we can help you to cast your shadow, the more equipped you are going to be to handle the new paradigm shifts and the level of success that you and your business are going to experience when you get these combinations right. So like I said, when you get these combinations right, it's going to position you in a way in your marketplace that most entrepreneurs are just not able to do because they don't understand the combinations and they don't understand how to put them together. Often people, like I talked about in the last episode, was we're doing things backwards. We're doing things out of order. And when you do that, you don't get the recipe right. And then you end up with something that doesn't quite taste so good. And we want to make sure that we get the recipe and the combinations right in the right order that enables you to have, the amplification and the success that you deserve. So by now, I am hoping that you are coming to realize that most unknown experts, they're actually trapped, and it's through their own trapping. They create this invisible box around themselves. And it's this invisible box that they create that only allows them to reach a few people in their sphere of influence. And when you're in, when your sphere of influence is only so big, what happens is you start bumping into other people who are actually similar to you, doing the same thing as you. And before long, that hold on the market that you had where you were a little bit different to begin with becomes eroded. You start to blend in and nobody in that market or in that place starts to stand out. You all become kind of vanilla. And we don't want you to do that. We want you to be the chocolate or the strawberry amongst everybody else who's vanilla. So when you when you believe in your mission, so deeply, your message to the core, and you are able to create the right message and the movement, you're actually able to start shifting people's beliefs. So if you're able to do all of these things, these 5 things that I'm going to talk about here that I've mentioned, that when you get all of these things right, you get the message right, you're able to create a movement, and you're able to shift people's beliefs, you are going to start to see things change pretty darn quickly. So with your message, you want to create that in a way that enables you to stand out. You want to actually create your own ecosystem where you have the capacity to create unlimited exposure. So like I said, no longer are you going to be in that box where you've created for yourself, that invisible box. You want to create yourself a podium and a platform and anchored to something that enables you to create an unlimited amount of exposure when you need it and on the ongoing. And in today's session, it's all about understanding also the 4 types of content that are actually going to help you to stand out and be memorable. Right, so I'm going to cover off the 4 different types of content. So I want you, if you haven't already, you want to make sure that you get a pen and paper because you need to note these down. And what I want you to do is you're going to note them down in today's session, and then you're also going to think about them once the session is over. I really want you to spend some time on this because these things are really important. So the most the type of messaging and the type of content creation that most people do, I'm going to get that out of the road first, is how-tos and education. And a lot of people think that having how-to and educational type information, tutorials, is the way to go. They think that that's what most people want, when in fact, what that actually does is when you create lots and lots, and the only thing you create is how-to videos or educational style videos, you actually limit the amount of clients that are going to come to you. Why? Because you're teaching them everything up front. And often people don't always want that. What people are looking for is not sort of baby steps, how to, what are the tactics that I need to do. What they're looking for is transformation. When we can give them transformation, it means that they can apply that to their life ongoing. Like you're transforming somebody from here to here to here to here in a very fast way. So the type of content, when you're doing how to or educational or tutorial style content, there absolutely is a place for that, and it is done in the right sequence, in the right order. When you're doing that, you want to make sure that you're not doing any more than probably around that 30% mark. So 30% of your content that you create, whether it's blogging, podcasting, live videos, etc., you want to make that about 30% of the time that you spend on how-to tutorial style videos. And everything that you do, you're going to see that there is an alignment with all of us. They all fit together. It's very, when you get this right, it's like all the pieces of the puzzle will fit together really nicely and it will start to make sense. But like I said, over time, you need to be watching all of these videos so that you understand the whole entire process. Okay, the next type of video that you are going to create is what I call relation and connection building type videos. Now, you may have seen these traditionally as like motivational, inspirational type videos, but you want to make sure that they go deep, that you're speaking specifically to what I call the struggling avatar. It is the person whom you are trying to reach out to, that's out there swimming around in that big blue ocean, hoping that somebody is going to come and rescue them. And they are looking for a certain type of person to solve a problem for them. So we want to make sure that you are speaking specifically to that person. And in here, you can see that I'm talking to the person who's a friggin' expert at what they do, but they're just unheard, unseen, and unknown. That's what we want to get you to. And where you want to go, if you are an unknown expert, is you want to become an authority in your space. Why would you want to become an authority in your space? Why? Because then you can help more people. More people will know about you. More people can come to you and actually have their problems solved. So really important that you do that. So you need to understand who that struggling avatar is. What are they, the emotions that they're feeling right now? What are they experiencing right now so that you can speak directly to them? And then you want to show them the journey of where you can get them to in terms of, what utopia is going to look like for them in terms of them now becoming the sought after authority in their space. That's where you create that deep level of connection. It's like, you get me, you understand me, I know you're speaking to me. It's like I'm speaking directly, like right now, down the barrel of the camera, I'm speaking to one person. That one person, you who is watching this right now, I'm talking to you. And what I'm talking about will be resonating with you if you are the type of avatar that I have identified who's an expert at what they do, but they're just unseen and they're not getting the cut through or the results that they truly deserve because they are not seen as an expert or an authority in their space. So you want to get very clear about that, because then you can speak to them at this level. And this is also what I call, when you're creating this type of messaging, it's also what I call dream builders. So it's like, you really understand where it is that you're taking them. What will their life and their transformation look like once they have experienced your product, your service, and your unique signature solution and offer? What will that look like? So these type of videos, we're going to be doing at least 30% of our messaging, videos, blogging, podcasting, whatever the case may be, will be around relationships and connection, motivational, inspirational, and storytelling that connects at a very deep level. So you want to make sure that you're doing that. Okay, the third one in the mix is what I call belief adjusters. Now, what you want to think about here is, in your specific industry and with your struggling avatar, what are the industry norms, what are the things that they think in the industry are really normal? What are the things that they think, that maybe are not quite true? Maybe they're old ways of thinking and they don't work anymore. Maybe things have changed. However, people's thinking may not have changed. Maybe they have not gone on the journey and they've made the shift yet. So this is one that we need to go quite deep on. When I get to the point where we're talking about the influence and authority method, this is really significant inside of a lot of the pillars that I teach, because we want to make sure that we're understanding what the industry norms are. What are the things that people have been doing in the past that are no longer serving them? These are the things that we need to help them adjust their beliefs around and help them to see that that was the old way, not necessarily the wrong way. We're not talking about you did that wrong, it's not right. But it's like just getting them to really open their mind, see things from another perspective, and start to think about adjusting their belief systems, because it's often the belief systems that we have, or our internal beliefs, that are actually holding us back. So we want to help them unleash those, unlock them, and allow themselves to move forward. We also use a method called the sleight of mouth, and some of you may be familiar with it. It was actually created by a guy by the name of Robert Dilts, and that is all about reframing of your beliefs. There's a system that he has created which has 14 different patterns that are responses that you can use to help people overcome or adjust their belief around something that they believe is true, but may not necessarily be true. So again, in the influence and authority method, we go deep into what those are so that you understand them and you can apply them in all of your in your messaging and in your content as you move forward. Because this one, I can't stress enough how important this is and how important it is to understand how it works and how to apply it in your messaging. Most people don't know how to do that. Okay, and the fourth one in this mix is what I call interviews. So you will be very familiar with these. You've even seen me on the Unlock show having people on, experts on, who are, who I'm interviewing. Now, this piece of the puzzle does a number of things for you. But obviously, interviewing other influencers and professionals in your space is really powerful, because it also elevates your authority. If you are seen to be the go-to person that can help them put their message on a platform and a podium, then that elevates your level of influence. So we also want to make sure that we're doing that. And I can see here that MJ is also saying, mindset, that whole belief adjusters. You're absolutely right, MJ. Mindset is where it's at. Nothing happens until you have the right mindset. I'm actually going to pull that up because she's absolutely right. And a lot of the we've got Martin. Hey, Martin. So where is MJ? Yeah, so MJ is saying that mindset is where it's at, and nothing happens until you get the mindset right. And Martin, I'll just pull him up again. So he's saying, I like that sleight of mouth. Have you stopped drinking? Yeah, there's a lot of, you're obviously very familiar with the sleight of mouth techniques, but they are extremely powerful. And one of the things that I want to make sure that I share with you guys as we're moving through this process. But let's get back to the interviewing. So number 4 is like interviewing. being able to interview other experts in the industry, you soon become seen as the person who can give them a space where they can share their message and share their voice. And also, one of the other things that you would want to do is interview previous clients. Now, when I talk about all four of these, there's a certain way that you can do this. And if you line them up in a really nice way, you'll see that throughout your entire messaging, you can even do things like launches for your business and for your programs. You can thread them throughout your messaging, so it becomes extremely natural and doesn't feel like you're doing a lot of hard sell. It takes all of that out of the equation, and that's what we don't want to do. The hard sell, we want to make sure that we're doing this very gently. We're allowing flow to happen, and it just happens extremely naturally. So interviewing is the fourth type of content that I think is powerful to create. One, because it elevates you. Secondly, it gives you exposure to other people's information. When you interview other people, it gives you a massive amount of content, but equally, it's also expanding your mind, your information. You're learning things and hearing things from different perspectives. So it allows you to really grow as a person too. It also gives you exposure to other people's businesses, their processes, etc., etc. And before you know it, when you start to interview people, often they will reciprocate and say, hey, can I now have you on one of my shows? So that also gives you an opportunity to reach a completely different audience that you wouldn't normally have had the opportunity to reach. And then, like I said, interviewing previous clients, well, that is extremely powerful in itself, because again, when you line all of these up in the right order, and you place that interview of a previous client that you've helped that has had some amazing results from what you've been teaching or doing with them, all of a sudden that just reinforces the messaging that you have been sharing. It shows that what you do actually works. It shows that you can actually get people results. So that is an extremely part of the process, extremely important piece of the process too. So I'm just going to recap really quickly on those four so that you get and you understand all of them, because all of these points of messaging, we need to get them in alignment, and they actually need to line up with your unique signature offer. So the first one, remembering, it's the most common how-to videos and educational style videos. We only want to be doing that about 30% of the time. The next one is build relationship and connection style videos, motivational, inspirational, but at a deep level, speaking specifically to your avatar, your struggling avatar, the person that's struggling right now that you want to help. And then you also want to, the next one is the belief adjusters. Extremely important that we put those into the mix. They are probably the most important and the one that gives people the biggest amount of transformation. And then the third one is interview style. And of course, we have a bit of a giggle here, but Martin's saying, yes, previous clients who have paid their invoices. Absolutely. We want to make sure that we have systems and processes that enable them to do that. And when they've been great clients, of course, you're going to allow them to be introduced to your world. You're going to give them a hand up and provide them with a platform that they can share their messages. And he's also saying star clients absolutely rock. They help you sell like crazy. They absolutely do. So they are a vital and extremely important piece of this puzzle, and they formulate, a lot of the putting all of these combinations together. They are very, very important. And they love that the fact that you're actually acknowledging them and you're seeing them as also an influencer and somebody who's got a great message to be able to share. Okay, so here I believe that there is a powerful shift that's happening right now. If you think about COVID, like the playing field it's pretty much being leveled up. We can, the message that the methods that I am sharing with you are going to help you. When this playing field is being leveled, it's going to help give you an amazing advantage. When you line all of these things up, all of a sudden you're going to go from that little turtle who was struggling along to, man, you're now the hare and you're crossing that, finish line really strong and fast. And like I said, these transformations, they happen over time. It doesn't happen overnight, but if you are committed to doing them and you're committed to, taking on and having a transformation and allowing that transformation to happen whilst you are helping your clients and your customers and your prospects also transform at the same time through the right messaging, through connecting with them, and through having your anchor platform, then you've got something pretty special that you can rely on to create stability and profitability for you in the long term. People will start to be attracted to you, and they will want your products and services, and you will become in demand. So let's just kind of give you a really basic idea of what a sequence would look like. So we do things, the method that I have is really unique in the way in which we do this. So threaded throughout the messaging that I do, there are also times where I may be, opening up a new program, opening up a new product. And when we do that, there are certain things that we do at certain times. There's a combination and there is a sequence that we follow to help us use all of these 4 types of messaging to get the message across and create demand for what it is that you're doing. So here's just an example. And of course, we work with you a lot deeper when I share with you the influencer and authority method, because these are all part of the program that we have. And this is sort of a sequence that we would follow. So day 1, you might want to do a relationship and connection type video or messaging blog, podcast, or whatever the platform is that you are going to use. The purpose of that is to connect with your prospect and your your next ideal client. That is the purpose of doing that. When you do it, they're going to go, aha, this is for me. This person is speaking directly to me. So that's what happens in, if we call it day 1. Day 2 is where you would add in a belief adjuster. So the next day you are doing a belief adjuster. So you're looking at something, maybe it's something that they believe to be a norm, and you're starting to create a new paradigm for them. You're opening up their mind. You're allowing that aha moment and the penny to drop. So we want them to have that moment of, oh, okay, yeah, you're right. What I did think was normal before, it actually isn't. And I need to understand this. Day 3, this is where you come in hard. This is where your how-to and your educational style information becomes really powerful, because now what you've done is you've gone, okay, day 1, wow, she's speaking to me. She's created a connection. I like her. I want to hear more, or him. Then day 2, it's a belief adjuster. Okay, now I'm starting to believe that this is, there's a new way of thinking. I've got a paradigm shift happening here. Penny drop moment. Day 3, now that's the how-to. How do I actually do that? It's the educational piece. And then in day 4, you can come in with your interviews. And with your interviews, of course, you're reinforcing the result. You're reinforcing the pathway that you've previously taken a customer or a client on that's got a result. And now you're able to come back and show other people that the process and the things that you've been showing them and getting them to adjust their beliefs around over the previous 4 days are now making a lot more sense. And now they can not only see that, hey, you're speaking to me, I can see other people who are like me, who have also had the same sort of, transformation and experience. So that would be a very simple 4-step process. And of course, that is all coupled with making sure you get your message right, getting the right platforms, so on and so forth to do all of this. But that gives you a bit of an idea as to the structure in which you would do that. Okay, and last but not least, I am sure that by now, if you have gone through like the 3 videos that I've done already, probably even if you only watched the one today, that your head is probably starting to spin. And, I want to hear from you right now, even though you might be sitting there and your little head is spinning, you're kind of like, oh, wow, this is good, and I want to do all of this, but I'm still not sure how to put the pieces together. What I want to know from you is, what's the biggest takeaway that you've had so far? So whether it's through the last 3 episodes of this series, the Authentic Brand Effect, or whether it's just today, what is the biggest takeaway that you have had so far? What I want you to do is I just want you to type it into the comments section and let me know what that was. your biggest takeaway. And what I'm going to do in the next session is I'm going to start talking about how to create your anchor platform. And how do you do that so that you create what I call the Oprah effect. All right, so that's going to be in the next session, which will be next Friday at the same time. So you need to be back here next Friday. And if you know anybody else who wants to hear this information, you better share it with them too, so that they can also be here live. So next week is about creating your anchor platform and how you do that so that you also create the Oprah effect. And then in the session after that, I'm going to start wrapping it all up with how do you now create distribution channels in a way that doesn't take up all of your time. How do you be seen and heard everywhere without spending all day and all night trying to figure out Instagram, YouTube, all of the different platforms and what you need to do on them? I'm going to give you some very simple things that you can do and show you how you can create multiple pieces of content from each and every one of the system that I am running through with you. So I hope you guys have enjoyed today's session. I've recapped already, so don't forget, go back. You want to rewatch these again. You need to watch session 1 and session 2, because as you do, all of these things will start making sense. You'll have like penny drop moment after penny drop moment, and even by the time you get to the third one, watch 1 and 2, you get to the third, maybe it might not all make sense, but do not worry, friend. We will make sure that you are, we've got you covered. All of these things will start to make sense once you get to the end. So I want to say thank you so much for joining me today on the Unlock Show with Tracy Wilson. I hope you have been enjoying the Authentic Brand Effect. This was part 3, revenue generating content types that will help you attract and prime your prospects and your buyers. So join me back again next week for another session of the Authentic Brand Effect. Have a fantastic weekend, and I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. I will be back with another interview on Wednesday too, so please also join me for that. See you guys soon. Have a great weekend. Bye.